on directing the public to that opportunity. So I think I agree with what you're saying, is we want to be consistent in terms of signage with Cannonsville.
And I can tell you too, generally, there are a lot of things outside of these parks that I think over a period of time will evolve into things, some of the things you'll see right here that aren't brown and white, but are using symbols, because this is something that I learned a long time ago, and it gets into TODs and things. Symbols get your attention and you recognize what they mean instantaneously. The name is more of an advertising level, and that gets into the TOD thing. You'll see more and more highway signs nationwide. That's all I do, so I study it in different states and I know what the standard is, but all the states are evolving. Some states are more advanced than others. New York, unfortunately, because of cost, because of policy, it hasn't evolved. Now the federal government got involved with the brown and yellow, brown and white. They say you must do this, this, and this. There's been things in the news about street name signs, had to be a certain size, had to be a certain color. Communities in the country griped about this. I can tell you that it was not meant to do all the signs all at once. It was done to be done on a progressive basis until we changed over to the standard. That's inside the parks, outside the parks, nationwide. And so that's what I try to facilitate, that aspect of it. Bill talks about the venues, Ed talks about many other things involved with both parks. And Tom is the guy that, when we dream it up, Tom makes sure it happens physically.
How are we doing on time? I want to make sure if there's any questions for our folks from the kids, because I know they want to get going. So I want to make sure there's anything left for that.
It's 3 o'clock. I think it's time to wrap this up. Are there any more questions?
Carol, can I just ask one clarification?
Yes.
One of the things that comes out of the Scenic Byway document is we have renewed awareness of how much we have to offer, and renewed awareness that a lot of it is not properly signed. You started out by saying that, these destination signs are designed. Can you hit us again with what is the time frame to get them in place?
Well, as far as we're gonna try to do corridor by corridor. The Route 28 is the first one. I think we're talking this year. We're gonna have Route 28 done with wayfinding, and we're working on trying to get funding. Tom's been scrumming finding money too, and it's part of the issue. But we're working on that for the other corridors too. So right now, I can commit that we're gonna have Route 28 pretty much done this year.
In and out of the park?
No, just in. Just in.
Well, in the defined soft boundary areas too.
Yeah, so we'll have Route 30, right?
Yeah.
The wayfinding signs are going to go basically from Shinapple to Kingston.
Yeah.
But you're going to go through Andes, which is part of...
on Route 30.
Well,
No, it's 28.
yeah,
28.
that's right. Andes is part of the Scenic Byway, but it's not part of this
You get two different.
Right, it's a
Catskill
different
Park
issue.
wayfinding signage. So maybe we should talk afterwards, Marty, about that. We're certainly willing to help on that too.
And I think there is probably, again, I'm not sure we're going to define all the soft boundaries, but I don't think we're going to, if there's a good reason somebody can say we should be considering that, we're not, it's not off the
like
table.
Palmer Hill's a good example.
So,
The hope is to have Route 28 completely done for any other roads, not just corridor, basically from Kingston to Shinapple, with the placards, brown and whites, the wayfindings, basically nuts and bolts,
Yeah.
the whole thing. You will see some of those stuff in other locations, but not to the completeness of what we get.
There's a lot of signs. A lot of signs.
We have one more question.
Yeah, this has been so helpful, and you can see we're like the hardcore about signage. So part of our job is then to talk to all of our neighbors about this. And so if questions come up, is there one place we can go to get an answer?
well, you can come to me. I'm going to go to probably somebody if I can't answer the question, or Bill Rudge.
How do we find you?
I'll leave my number and all here.
You want to just maybe put it up on the...
Sure, I can put that up there, my email address and everything if people want to get a hold of me.
Can I just add that in closing, one of the adopted recommendations of the collaborative is to do exactly what we did today, which is to work in partnership with the agencies that have the jurisdiction in the region. And as a point person, I'd be happy to receive any questions and work with you.
The other thing that Ed talks about, he's trying to work on that document, that what Adirondack called the Adirondack Green Book. He wants his vision, and we all agree that we're going to have a document like that deals with all the topics that would be in the Catskill Park, not just signing, but all sorts of things. And it's a document that we as DOT follow, and it has elements of DEC and any other agency that was involved. That hasn't happened. My job is with Ed to develop the signing portion of it, but there's other elements. And it's going to be a couple of years, I think, before it happens. But when that happens, it'll be something that the public can see, and it'll make them easier to understand. It'll refer to other documents and things, and it'll bring it together, which hasn't been the case in the Catskill Park.
Peter, that's a great role, though. Again, if you can direct people to me, you know how to get a hold of me, that'd be great. But you're in touch with most of the people here, so.
Yeah, and I may get a call that might not be appropriate to turn over to you. It may be Bill or maybe Mark and Tom, what have you. And you're only a subset of the people involved. And I just want to say thanks again for coming down. And this may seem confusing, but we have, at times, but we have such an opportunity in this region that really is dictated by all this public land. And with the signs, we can let more people know about it. So thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Bill.